Today we're going to be testing out an interesting little tool. You're not going to want to miss this. Don't go away. Hey everybody, it's Paul from Fat Guy Productions, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And yes, today we're going to be testing out an interesting little tool. I was talking with my friend Anthony Young over at Brightvision, and we were discussing some of the things I needed and whatnot, things I liked, things I didn't. And he mentioned to me that he was developing a new tool specifically for die casters, and he was wondering if I would want to test it and let you guys know what I think about it. I said, sure, send it on over and we'll give it a test. So he did, I did, and I'm here to tell you all about it. Hey everybody, so yes indeed, we're going to be taking a look at this new tool from Brightvision. It is a hobby-specific tap handle made for die-cast restorers. And I was talking with Anthony over at Brightvision, and he said, hey, would you like to test this out and let everybody know what you think? He said, especially since you're not a tap guy, you know, I'd be interested to get your take on it. So I said, sure, and he went ahead and sent me this. And as you can see, there's very, very little to it. It is a super small and light little aluminum handle that is made to fit their taps perfectly. They just kind of push in, a little friction fit. So, as you know, I don't generally tap out the posts on my cars. It was one more thing I struggled with. And so I skipped doing it altogether. And so I'm going into this kind of from the position of being a little bit of a negative Nelly. But I do like the small, compact, light form factor of this thing. And I promised him I'd give it a fair chance, so I am going to do just that. Alright, I'm working on a peeping bomb here. And I have drilled out the post. Put a little dab of oil in it. I've got the tap fit into the handle, and I'll just give it a little starting turn. Now here's what really impressed me. Did you notice how I was able to just completely let go of it after only a quarter of a turn? That is indicative of the weight of this tool. It bit immediately. And because there's not a ton of weight there, I was very, very easily able to just let go of it, and there was not 1 second where I thought that it was going to fall out of the post. So I definitely have to say, so far so good. So let's go through the whole process, start to finish. Here we've got a light my Firebird. And what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning up the end of the post using my Vix Bits. I found one that goes right over the end of the post, and I can drill it and get a really nice equal cone shape where I can drill into the post and get ready for the screws. Alright, so with both posts prepped and ready to go, I can go ahead and get my smaller drill bit chucked up, and I can drill down into the center of the post. So while I'm doing this, let's just briefly talk about my previous mindset. And I was of the mind that why should I struggle and fight with a tap set when I could just thread the screw in there? Now certainly there was a risk there. If I had a weak spot in the post, I could blow the post out with the screw. And a tap would certainly be a safer, more practical way to go. But I just felt really uncomfortable using the tap, and I didn't like it. So I didn't want to use it, so I didn't use it. My mindset so far after just one attempt on a car body was that, hey, this is different, okay? And I'll show you a little comparison in size and weight a little further down the road here, but it's substantially different than what I had and what I had been using. And I really, on that very first car, I was like, that was pretty nice. So that's why I'm going to do more cars and get a feel for it. So, okay, we've got the posts on the Firebird drilled out. We can clean all of that up, make sure it's ready, and then we can go ahead and start the tapping process. Right here, all I'm doing is just checking the depth of the hole to make sure I feel like I've drilled down deep enough. This car doesn't have the longest posts in the world, so you want to be careful, but you don't want to under-drill either. Alright, well, everything's drilled out. The car's ready to go. I've got my little tap handle, and here are my two different taps. One's for the 172 and one's for the 256 screws. And I'm just making sure I get the right one, because sometimes they're a little hard to tell apart. And no chuck, no collets, no nothing. Just push it in there. And then I will put a little bit of oil in each of the holes. Okay, and now we can go ahead and do the tap. Now, aside from it being very light, its small form factor makes it easy to handle. It's not so small that somebody would, look at that. What did I turn that? An eighth of a turn and it already stuck and was standing up? But anyhow, what I was saying is that it's not so small that somebody with big fat hands like mine can't use it, but it's small enough that it's easy to manipulate. So I can be turning it, and I don't have to fear about letting go of it and repositioning to get a better grip on the thing. Now you'll notice I'm doing it the right way. I cut a few threads, back it out a little to clear out the channel. Then I'll cut it a little bit deeper, and so on and so forth. So I'll go in and out, a few times just to make sure that I'm not putting undue pressure on the tap itself, and then I snap it off into the post, which would really, really suck. So I feel like I've gone deep enough. I can just unscrew the tap, and it's all good. All right, so now let's talk about the weight. Okay, you can see here the tap handle I did have, and it's kind of big and clunky. It needs collets, and it's heavy, and it's a little cumbersome, and and look at this. It's 2.5 ounces. That seems like an awful lot. 2.5 ounces. And if we convert that to grams, that's 72 grams. That's a lot of weight. No wonder if you turn it a little bit and let go of it, it falls right out and rips out the threads that you've cut in your post. Okay, so here we are, the nice small little handle, and you can see when we put it on the scale, it's just about 2 ounces, which is very, very light, and only 5 grams. So, I mean, seriously, what a difference here, right? I mean, seriously, that is a big, big weight difference. Not to mention the form factor. Okay, so I didn't just do 2 cars, but I'm not going to show you every car I've done using this handle. That would get redundant. While you watch me work on this BP Explorer from Leslie Matchbox, let me go ahead and sum up and tell you what I think about this thing. Now remember, I'm coming from a point of somebody who did not like to tap out the posts. I think I found 2 key elements here, and I showed you one of them in the weight. What a substantial difference. In the past, if you weren't on top of your game while you were trying to tap out the post, it was almost like trying to balance a watermelon on a toothpick. And if you let go of that tap, it was invariably going to fall over and rip out whatever progress you had made in the post. It was just too much weight sitting on top of that tiny, tiny little tap. It just wasn't a good solution for tapping out these cars. So weight was a huge factor for me, because instead of balancing a watermelon on a toothpick, now all we're doing is we just got the toothpick. We got rid of the watermelon completely. So a lot better. And that toothpick is so light that once we get just the tiniest bite, we can let go of it and it'll stay put. The other factor is its actual size. You know, you might think that bigger would be better, but in my experience here, I have found that bigger is absolutely not better. It is far easier for me to manipulate this. I can easily, after making an initial turn, I can easily reposition my hand without letting go if I need to. I have an easier time keeping the thing level. I just really like it. I think they nailed the size perfectly. It's small enough to be comfortable and easy to use, but it's big enough to get the job done without feeling like you've got nothing in your hand. Really, really like it. So in the end, what am I saying? I'm giving this an A+++. This thing is awesome. And I believe at this point it has made me into a convert. I've always acknowledged that there were benefits to tapping out the post. Less chance of damaging the post. And honestly, before you move forward, you're going to know that this car is going to go back together, and it's going to go back together easily. You're not going to have to fight with it when you have a brand new paint job on it, and when you want to handle it the least. So there's always been an upside to it, but the upside was never big enough for me to get past having to fumble fart around with that big ginormous tap handle and hope that I could tap out the post without screwing it up. So this handle has addressed my fears and is allowing me to enjoy the benefits of tapping out the post without worrying about damaging it or anything else. So I really think this thing is amazing. Now, for you guys who are comfortable in what you're doing, maybe you don't change. I don't know. But if you're new to this and you're looking for something for tapping out the post, I highly recommend this. If you are an old timer and you are like me, and this thing, the big giant taps are uncomfortable in your hand, or they're too heavy or whatever, this is going to be your solution. All right. Well, here it is, the brand new tapping handle from Brightvision, and I have to say this thing is aces. I love it. Okay. Now you could absolutely say, well, you only like it because she gave you one. Well, I guess you could say that if you wanted to, but you'd be dead wrong. I'm not the kind of guy who will force myself to use something I don't like just for whatever purpose. I would not be tapping cars just to use this thing. I'm tapping cars because this is fabulous. It is so light. It is just so easy to handle. I don't feel like I'm in a fight to tap the post out. I love the thing, and if you want one, reach out to Anthony over at Brightvision, and I'm sure he can hook you up. Alright, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, click the little bell, you'll be notified anytime I release a new video. If you have any questions or comments, and I'm sure you might, so leave them down below. I'm definitely going to be checking them and answering you back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. This is Paul from Vix Productions, wishing you an amazing kind of light and happy and easy-going day where you get to tap a lot of holes. Until next time, be good.